Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're taking a look at a 10-year-old camera. In fact, it is 10 years this year. It came out in 2014. And what we're looking at is the Sony A6000. Now, I've looked at this camera many times. I bought this a long time ago. It's a great camera. Even now in 2024, it's an absolutely superb little camera. Very good value if you want to get into the Sony E-mount system. In fact, it's really good value if you just want a decent mirrorless camera. Maybe you don't want to do, a massive amount of photography or video. Maybe you just want a really nice camera that you can take out and about with you and get great images and great video. Because believe it or not, it is actually a really nice video camera. It is only HD and it is very limited to what video features it has. But if you only want to take family snaps, family, holiday video, even short B-roll for, other types of video production, it's still a great little camera. So it's the Sony A6000. It's the first in their range of the A series of cameras. And then came after this was the A6300, 6500, and then they came with the 6400, 6600, and obviously what they have now. Now, it is a crop sensor camera, so there's a 24 megapixel APS-C crop sensor inside there. It's an early sensor, obviously it would be, it's a 10-year-old camera, but I'd tell you, the results are really good. Even now, it can still take great photographs. So I'll actually go through a few of them on my computer here, but I would highly recommend you take a look at them on my Flickr page. You'll be able to see them much better on Flickr than you would do on this YouTube channel. Now, it is compact, very lightweight. It's got quite a nice grip. It actually kind of reminds me of a grip on the A7C. I'm actually filming a wide shot over there with my Sony A7C. The grip isn't as good as what it is on the 6600 and the 6700, but it does the job and it is actually fine. I'm not so sure how good it'd be with large lenses and big lenses, but with these little compact lenses, I mean, I've got the kit lens on here at the moment, the 16-50 kit lens. That's a fine lens, it's okay. It's not your, sharpest lens on the block, but it is a kit lens. And again, if you want to get started into photography and video, the kit lens will do you fine. It's not a low light beast, mind you. If you do want to get some great low light images, you will need a better lens. And a great thing with the APS-C bodies is a very wide range of lenses. I've now got a few on the table here, and it's literally just a few. But one of my favourite lenses I pair with the A6000, I use it a lot, is the Sony 20mm pancake lens. This pairs with this camera body lovely. It's a really nice compact lens, 20mm, so that's 30mm in full frame terms. But on an APS-C body, it's classed as a 20mm lens, and it's really, well, it's a pancake lens. It's really compact. So that is great on the 6000, and being that it's a prime lens, you're getting really nice images with that. But there's a very wide range of other lenses. There's third-party manufactured lenses. Tamron make a very good range of lenses. This is the 11 to 20. I use usually on the A6700, but that's a nice lens to use with it. And then there's a Sigma 50mm. There's many of them. I quite often use the Sigma 56mm prime lens with it. I'd use that in the studio here on a tripod, because one of the things the A6000 doesn't have is in-body image stabilization. So you have to be conscious when you're taking photographs, but you do set a slightly higher shutter speed. You can't really use very slow shutter speeds because there is no stabilization in the body. But a lot of the Sony lenses do have in-lens image stabilization, or they call it OSS, optical steady shot. It's just another word for in-lens image stabilization. This kit lens has the in-lens image stabilization, so that does enable you to set slightly slower shutter speeds. I tend to pair it as well with my Sony 18-135. This has in-lens image stabilization and covers a very useful range. So that's about a 20 to 200 or thereabouts in full frame terms. So it's a very useful, actually about 24 to 200 in full frame terms. That's a really capable lens, lovely image quality. Again, I'll leave a link to my Flickr page where you can actually look at images taken with the 18-135, probably taken on my A6700 or my 6600. I don't think I've got that many sample images taken with the A6000, but that's a great lens to pair with the A6000. So that's one advantage with buying into the Sony E-mount system. There's a very wide range of lenses. Now the camera also has a tilting 3-inch screen. When I'm out taking photographs, I prefer this type of articulation when I do the ones that come out to the side. Now when I'm filming here in the studio, the ones that come out to the side are great, sort of vlogging style articulating monitors. But when I'm out taking photographs, I prefer the ones that are behind the camera body. I feel less conscious. I don't feel that people are staring at me. It's just me, you know. I prefer to take photographs like that when I do with an articulating screen. But it's got a 3-inch screen. It isn't touchscreen, so that has its advantages and its disadvantages. Advantages means that you're not forever accidentally touching the screen and moving your focus point or changing a setting that you didn't realise that you had changed. So that does have its advantages. It has got face detect, eye detect. Eye detect is set from a button. I've pre-assigned the AEL button for eye detect. So when I push in the AEL button, that'll switch on the eye detect if I'm actually photographing a person. I find that very useful, and I just think that's, in some respects, again, that's better than having the automatic face and eye detect. At least with this, I can choose when I want it to pick out an eye, rather than the camera deciding that it wants to pick out an eye. And particularly if you're photographing a group of people, even more than one, it may well pick up the wrong one. At least pre-assigning it to a function button, I can decide whether I want to activate that function or whether I don't. It has got various function buttons. It's got a C1 button on the top there. I've got that set up to focus area, and it's got one at the bottom there. I've got that set to change the screen mode to be either extremely bright for sunny weather or normal. Again, fantastic when I'm out and about. I can just change that. If it's not bright enough, put it into sunny mode. When obviously that brightens up the screen. Got a viewfinder. Quite a decent viewfinder actually. It's sharp and it's bright and it suits me. It does what I need it to do. Again, I prefer taking this to my Sony ZV-E10. Although that's a much more modern camera, I prefer this for taking photographs because it has got the viewfinder where the ZV-E10 hasn't got the viewfinder. But as I say, value for money, this is outstanding. Focusing is really good. It's got the sort of early version of a Sony autofocus system, but it's fast and it's accurate. So, you know, I say fast, it's not as fast as the modern cameras, but it's fast enough. And I find it completely fine. PASM dial on the top of the camera there, that's pretty traditional, isn't it? And one command dial, as opposed to having two. But that's fine. If you've got it in aperture priority, you use that, just use that one to adjust your apertures. And then I've got the wheel set up for exposure compensation. So it all works a treat for me, all works an absolute treat. Video only does HD, shoots in the XAVCS codec. The strange thing is they've put on the actual camera body, AVC HD, which isn't as good a quality as XAVCS. But it does XAVCS HD. Quality's fine, it's nice and sharp. There's no manual audio controls. There's no other sort of video features in it. There's no microphone jack, so you would need to use external sound. But you can plug in, actually, for example, this one here, this is the Sony Bluetooth wireless microphone kit. That can go into the hot shoe because this does support the multi-interface shoe. Now you can't use every microphone that Sony make for the multi-interface shoes, the camera's too old, but it'll work with this one, and then you have your Bluetooth wireless microphone, a bit like my DJI mic, but that isn't Bluetooth, that works on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. But you can use, you know, this little Bluetooth microphone. So it has got multi-interface through, limited, but it is there for certain microphones. And that's about it really. It takes the FW50 battery, so it's the older style battery. It's the same battery actually, it's the ZVE10 takes, but it takes the FW50 battery. It's not great, but if you've got 2 or 3 in your pocket, and you wouldn't need any more than 2 really if you're going out taking photographs for the day, a couple of spare batteries in your pocket and you're fine. And that's all right, that's what I do. I don't find any issue with that whatsoever. So yeah, really nice compact, very lightweight, E-mount, Sony E-mount body. But what makes it great in 2024, A, the image quality is still fantastic, but B, great value for money. Anything between sort of, on a used market, £250 to £400. And if you buy from a reputable dealer, such as Wex Photographic, MPB, and there's obviously several others in the UK, I use them too particularly, you get a 12 or 6 month warranty. So, you know, absolutely superb. Now, we'll have a quick look at some of these images before we finish. And I'm not going to pick any out specific. Let's have a look at the cat. But you see they're nice sharp images. They're really sharp. Now it will depend on what lenses you're using to get the sharp images, of course. But again, there's many lenses available at really great prices. But great images, great sharpness, even with an old sensor. People do say about Sony's colour science with the earlier Sony cameras. Now, I've not adjusted the colours in any of these images, and I think they're fine. Maybe, you know, I'm not fussy, I don't know. I think they're absolutely fine. Nice and sharp. And, you know, again, depending on what lenses you're using, you can get that separation between the foreground and the background. An APS-C sensor will do that, and it'll do it quite nicely, even with a 24 megapixel sensor. As you can see here, Sam's face has been brought out of the background. You know, it works really well. So if you do want to do portraits, and you know, maybe you want the A6000 as a backup camera even, you can still get lovely portraits with the A6000, and the sensor's still more than capable, you know, 10 years later. So it's like the 10-year anniversary for the A6000. And look at the colours here. These colours are very true to what those tulips are they? I don't know, I think they are. You know, really vibrant colours, strong colours, and again, it is throwing the background out of focus. So yeah, it's a great camera, one that I can very highly recommend. Just be aware that it isn't a touch screen. The grip isn't as good as the grips on the modern cameras, but the price difference is huge between this and say the A6700 or even the 6600. So yeah, great lightweight, compact, just take it anywhere, travel camera. So yeah, I can highly recommend it. There we go. That's a quick look at the Sony A6000 here in 2024. Don't forget to take a look at the images on my Flickr page, that would be fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button if you like the content of this video. There's plenty of videos on my YouTube channel about Sony cameras. I've done quite a few about the A6700, which is over there, so take a look at them. So thanks very much for watching. Cheers for now. Bye.